Better days are coming, you see. Visions are for you and me. Elevate your soul. Fly, come with me.
Alright, shalom. Double honors to the elders of GMS. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's a new year, you know, and we gotta be strong in the spirit of the Most High, okay? Brothers out there, this is for you younger brothers that's coming in this truth, that's having kind of doubts and everything. Now is not the time to have doubts. Now it's time to buckle up, you know, and get this job done, because we almost out of here. Alright? Okay?
And pretty much the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, gave us a job to do, you know. And this job that we was given, you gotta be very passionate about this job. And you gotta be into the spirit, alright? You know, you gotta whatever the Lord gives you, you gotta be passionate about it, you know. Like case in point, LeBron James. When LeBron James go out there and play ball, you know, he busts his ass. Or when Michael Jackson, when he had his performance, he'll give his all. You know, that was their bullshit talent. All right, but our talent is the understanding of the scriptures. So you got to be passionate about, you know, teaching. All right, because our job is to feed the flock. Is to feed the flock with what? With the truth. That's why the first scripture we're going to read is St. John 21, beginning at verse 15.
Alright, St. John 21 and 15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? And he saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. And he said unto him, Feed my lambs.
Right, and he said unto him, Feed my lambs. Alright. Now who's the lambs? The lambs is talking about the elect of Israel. Feed them with what? With this knowledge, the understanding of the scriptures. Go ahead.
And he said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. And he said unto him, Feed my sheep. And he said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him 3 times, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things, thou knowest that I love thee. Then Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou once young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whether thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. Meaning what? Look over people. Because when he said, when you was young, somebody had to look over you. Alright? Somebody had to guide you. So your job as a man of the Lord, or to be in the spirit, you're supposed to look over the younger brothers. So when you get older, you did your job, so that man that you trained and you looked over, he's going to look over for the other flocks. Okay? So that's our job. Our job is to look over the younger men, so to speak. Because we building something now that's more spiritual than ever in the history of being Israel. Alright, this new foundation that's been made is not a physical thing. Alright, you don't see men just buffed up and everything. You see men's spirits are being roused up through the Spirit of the Lord. So our job is to make sure their spirit is still going on strong. Alright?
Right. Like the scripture says, to edify. When you look up the word edify, it means to build up. What are we building up? We're building up the faith of the elect. And the way we do it is by, you know, constantly pushing out shows, you know, going out there teaching every Saturday. That's how you build up the faith of the elect. Right? So the next scripture will be 2 Timothy 2:15.
2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed.
Right. It says, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. Meaning, in other words, you gotta be constantly into the scriptures. Okay? And it speaks about being a workman, because we're workmen or laborers unto the Lord. And we're building up the temple of the Most High. And how we building up the temple? We building up the temple, we building up a spiritual temple. Alright? And the elect represents, each member of the elect represents a stone. Alright? And it says that needeth not to be ashamed. Because if you're studied and you constantly into the scriptures, and someone comes up to you and asks you a question, you're gonna have the answer. You know? When you have the answers, then you know what you're talking about. Because you gotta be prepared for a person to come and ask you questions. The scriptures say, be ready always to give the answer of your faith. Okay? That's why you got General, I call him General Toasto Chicken, or General Gehenna. When a person comes up and asks a question, he goes on a rant. And the reason why he goes on a rant because he don't got the answer. You know? Yeah. That's why he do it. Because he's not studied.
Nor does he have faith.
Right.
Because you know, you could study all the scripture said ever studying, never learning. You could study all day, all night. If the Lord's now dealing with you, or the Lord don't put the spirit in you to understand what you're reading, it's to no avail. Alright? So you have to have faith. Everything that you do in this truth, you have to have faith. Alright? So 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that is needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Because the reason why it says rightly dividing the word of truth is because the Lord, he set his Bible as a puzzle. Alright? When you go to Isaiah 28, it says a precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Alright? Because the Bible wasn't given to everybody to know the mysteries of the Bible. It was only open up to the elect. That's why the scriptures say, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, which the God of this world had blinded. Because the Lord is not looking for all Israel. Like, where is that in the scriptures? Where in the scriptures says, you know, to set up a GED program for Israel and set up a food pantry? Alright? That's not in the scriptures. Go to college. How are you going to set yourself up to have benefits in a place that's going to be destroyed?
Yeah.
Alright?
And where's the glory of bringing all Israel together, which supposed to be the sand of the sea? Then they could easily say, okay, we did it by our own hands. But if the Lord took a certain elect men from each tribe and he chose them to be his elect, that's more glorious. How you gonna take a small number and then broadcast what's going on? Alright? That's a glorious thing. That's why the Lord said our weakness is to make the confound of the people of this world to be confounded liars. Alright? Through your weakness, you make this world a lie. To show you that you don't have to be all super strong. If you stay in the scriptures, you'll be alright. Okay? 1 Corinthians?
You had a precept?
No, I couldn't find it.
Okay, 2 Timothy 2:24.
Alright, 2 Timothy 2:24.
Or jump down to 24 verse.
Yeah. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach.
There you go. And the scripture says to be apt to teach. Alright? other words, meaning you can't wait to, to teach His word. You gotta be fired. Cause the Spirit of the Lord is a fire. You gotta be fired up to teach. Saturday can't wait to go out there. And to teach. All right, or to put up shows. It says apt to teach. Oh, no, I don't want to read. I don't want to speak. I just hold silence. You should want to. You should want to, go out there and prophesy. All right. You should want to be out there teaching the word of the Lord. So that's the point. It says people be apt to teach. All right.
We look at the word amp. This will show brothers.
Strong's G 1317. Didaktikos.
So it means apt, skillful in teaching. So in other words, how you be skillful in teaching, you have to be able to teach.
You gotta know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
For you to be skillful in something, I mean, you gotta know it. You gotta dedicate your time. That's another thing. You gotta make that sacrifice of dedicating your time. Like, you think Michael Jordan was just the best because he was just the best? He dedicated his time, all right? He was in, when time to practice, he was putting more hours in than the rest of the players, to be as great as he is. So with the word of the Lord, you gotta dedicate your time, dedicate your time on studying, looking into words, okay? So that's how you become skillful. You're not gonna become skillful by having your hands in your pocket. You gotta get your hands dirty, so to speak.
Go to the next scripture.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 9.
1 Corinthians 9:19. But do I be free from all men, yet I have made myself a servant to all. That I might gain.
No, I'm sorry. 1 Corinthians 9:19, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
For though I be free from all men, yet I have made myself a servant unto all, that I might gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law.
Right, because now this is Paul speaking. Because when Paul spoke, when Paul taught, like he said to the Jews, he used the law to break it down, to preach your house shine to them. Like the Lord, does not the Lord say, did he not say that unto a prophet will I raise up, hear ye him? Because they always talk about the law, All right, go ahead.
As under the law that I have might gain them that are under the law.
So Paul used the law to convince them, to persuade them to the truth, the full truth. Right?
To them that are without the law, as without law.
Right. So you might use other analogies, like I used the analogies about Michael Jordan. Because you got Jakes that's into sports. So we may use the analogy with the sports. The sports world to, get to a Jake, for them to understand it. All right, and Paul used it too, which we're gonna get to it.
Yeah. Being not without law to the Most High, but under the law of Yahushua, that I might gain them that are without law. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. And I am made all things to all men, that I might be, that I might by all means save some. In other words, he it's called adapting. He was adapting to the situation, meaning the people that were weak in faith, he had strong faith, but he was weak as them, so that way they could gain their faith. All right. people that was out without the Lord, they didn't understand the Lord, he talked to them in that type of language that they could understand. Alright? And this I do for the gospel's sake.
For example, you know, when Paul was in Acts 17 chapter, when Paul went to Athens, he used their own philosophy against them. You know, like he quoted what's this poet name? But he'll use, because they believe in Zeus. They believe that Zeus was the Almighty, that Zeus created the stars and the moon and everything for times and seasons. But Paul went in, he said it was not Zeus, it was the Most High, you know. So he'll use certain quotes from the certain poets and to convince them, but he used their own bullshit against them, you know.
Yeah.
Like scripture said, you know, it says deceitful but yet true, you know, something to that effect. I'm quoting wrong, but you know, Lord willing, we'll put it up in post production. As deceivers but yet true. That's what I was trying to say.
And this is I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partakers thereof with you. Now you know, it's like you know not that they which run in a race run all.
Now Paul is using the analogy as a race, you know. It uses reference as a race because in a race, you go in a race, you gotta be, you know, prepared, all right? And it's not about how fast you get to the finish line, because if you pull your engine trying to get to the finish line quick, you're gonna burn yourself out, all right? The main goal is just getting to the finish line, and that's making reference to, you know, being in this truth and, you know, making it to the end. Right?
Alright. But one receiveth the prize, so run that you may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is a temperate.
Right. It says run that you may attain. Alright? Attain what? That reward. What's our reward for, you know, remaining in the truth is the salvation in the kingdom of heaven. Alright? Go ahead.
Alright.
Read that part again.
Now, okay. Know you not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that you may obtain. And every man that strives for mastery is temperate in all things.
Right, and it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things, meaning he's balanced. Like before, if you're a boxer, before you get into a fight, you're not gonna go to the club before the fight, or you're not gonna have sex before the fight, or have a bunch of drink before the fight. You're just gonna remain focused. You know, you're gonna go over, you know, your skills or what you learned, you know, things of that nature. Or you're not like, if you're training for a boxing match or for a race, you're not gonna spend most of your time with your woman. You know, your mind gonna be focused on, you know, whatever thing you win. So that's what Paul means, you know, this temperate all things. Meaning your mind's supposed to be focused, you know? Like, don't work, like in the truth, you know, you spend time with your woman, but you gotta keep that to, you know, a minimum, you know? Most of your time is supposed to be spending on is the truth. You know, when you get the time, you do what you gotta do, but most of your time is on the truth.
Quick precept. Matthew 6 and 21 and 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Meaning what? Meaning focus. If you focus on one thing, if you focus on one goal, which is what? The kingdom of heaven, then all things are open to you. Alright? But if thy eye be evil, the whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Because here's the key. No man can serve two masters. See, that's why your eye gotta be beaming. You gotta be focusing. Your treasures gotta be up in heaven.